Now, to the most important part of every show. Our guests today are Tina Malamos and Sarah Crane. Both have been on show before. Tina is also an appraiser, so we spoke appraisals, and Sarah has come on before. She's a foodie. We've talked most of the restaurants locally. One thing that all three of us have in common, besides being real estate agents at Century 21 Black Bear Realty, is we all three moved here from Florida. Don't hold that against us. So the topic today is why are Floridians moving to the mountains of North Georgia and Western North Carolina? This is going to upset some people that don't like us moving up here. And I having lived in Florida and seen everyone move into Florida, I sure get why you don't like crowds moving into your area, but that's just a factor of life. Tina, why did you and your family move up here, and how long ago?
We moved here in 1998, and several factors. Mostly was raising our kids here. We wanted the slower pace, smaller schools, and we moved here for the roads because we ride motorcycles.
We share something there. I moved up here I was making a career change, but in large part, I wanted to raise both my sons in small town life. My parents had afforded me that, and I wanted to give my two sons that quality of life. Sarah, why did you and your husband Jason move up here?
Family. My parents have lived here since '99, so we wanted to be closer to them. And then his family is from Ohio, so it's only a 7-hour drive instead of a plane ride. So we wanted to be in driving distance.
All right.
But I love, and also I want to say, I didn't move here to change it here. I love how it is.
Correct.
So I want to make that very clear. Because I remember people moving to my town and they're like, oh, we want to change it. Like, no, just love
Florida.
it for what it is. Right.
I can remember as a kid growing up working in restaurants, and I would constantly hear, well, up north we do it this way. Well, up north we do it that way. And I always thought, if it's so freaking great up north, go home. Just leave us alone. So I certainly understand that concept here.
But I love the seasons because I've never experienced that. I love winter. I love snow. Even I don't love tons of snow, but I love our snow. And I love being so close to other states. You know, being from Fort Myers, Naples area, I was 6 hours, and you're finally out of the state. And here I can be in Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, even Kentucky, Alabama. It's awesome. I love that freedom.
Well, let me ask y'all. Y'all both work with a lot of buyers that are moving to the area. What are the areas you see besides Florida? I think we can all agree Florida's still our biggest, what we would call a feeder state in the business. They produce a lot of buyers.
I think the last few years we're getting more Texas people.
100% agree. I remember probably 5-6 years ago, I took the chamber president of Clay County to lunch, and she mentioned at the time they actually had more requests for information about our area out of Texas than Florida. That's probably the first time in 100 years. So we've got Texas, Florida, and Atlanta. Yeah, and Atlanta to me is anything south of here.
Yes. And I feel like the Atlanta people want to buy homes to make them rentals.
Right.
So that when they do retire, they may not be retired right now, then they will move there. That's the intention anyway.
Great point.
I think that's a great point in the sense that we do have a lot of people pre-buying their retirement home. And I think that's kind of new in the market for the last few years. Most people retired and come up here, and now we're getting, hey, I plan on retiring in 10 years currently, but hey, I'll use this as a rental till I'm ready to move there full time.
Right, so often.
Sarah, you mentioned something as far as one of your reasons. Is weather, working with clients and for yourselves, is the weather a factor?
I would say yes, huge.
I didn't get that. Could you?
When we're talking about Floridians, I mean, you have the Floridians who are true Floridians who were born there, which is not very many.
That would be me.
Right.
And myself, I'm a native.
I'm a native.
Yeah.
So, but then you have the people who have moved there from other states. And I think both groups want the real Floridians want a little bit of the seasons, and the people from up north who've moved to Florida, they just want a milder winter, but they miss the seasons.
Right.
So yes, I definitely think that weather plays a part of it.
In Florida, there is one season. Well, no, strike that. Two, hot and hotter.
Yes.
I would say 4 general seasons is probably one of the biggest draws for Floridians and what they call halfbacks, folks that are from the north, move to Florida, and then move halfway back. Besides the heat, there is another key factor in the weather in Florida that is a big minus to me.
Humidity.
Oh, yes. You get out of the shower and you feel like you stepped into another one. My wife and I were in Vegas several years back. We got out of a show. It was around midnight, and it was well over 100 degrees. It wasn't that bad. The following week, my wife visited our son going to school in Miami. It was 90 degrees, but she said unbearable because of the sheer humidity.
Takes the life out of you.
It does, and we just don't have that here. Folks, today we're talking all things why Floridians are moving to the beautiful mountains of northeast Georgia and western North Carolina. It's an interesting topic and a very relevant topic in what we do. We all sell real estate. We'll be right back after these commercial messages. Thanks for tuning in. Folks, today our guests are Tina Malamos and Sarah Crane, both fellow real estate agents at Century 21 Black Bear Realty. Our topic is why are Floridians moving to the mountains of North Georgia and western North Carolina? Right before the break, we were talking weather. Tina, you brought up an interesting fact, snow.
Yes.
What did you find?
Snow in our area, we only average about 5 inches a year. So, hey, you get stuck in the house maybe a day, maybe 2, and then it's over.
It's pretty. It's pretty. The big weather thing we've not touched on, and I run into just last week I listed a house and they bought it because they were wanting to get away from, and she said the H word, and I thought, heck, or the hot spot? Nope, hurricanes. Have y'all worked with folks moving to the area wanting to avoid the hurricanes?
I have heard, not that that's the main reason, I haven't, but they mention it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that it's funny. My last year in Florida, we had 4 hurricanes come through our county. It wiped. We were without electric for a few weeks. It was not one of my, wherever you live, there's going to be. When we moved up here 20 years ago, the power would go out periodically because of the weather. So for hurricanes, that didn't move me. But I have spoken with a lot of people over the last 20 years that, yes, that was it. Let's go to another reason. Are taxes and cost of living part of y'all's decisions or some of the folks you work with's decisions?
Me personally, I have a little bit different perspective on this because I've never had to pay state income tax until now. So I don't feel like it's much cheaper. My home that I built in Florida in 2016, it was bigger with a pool. And then I built here, smaller, no pool, and it was double the price building. So I haven't found that. But property taxes are definitely lower, for sure, here.
Not just property taxes, but
Income-
insurance.
Insurance, definitely.
Right,
Insurance
right,
is
true.
significantly less.
Utilities.
Utilities, yes. So I do think maybe that's a mixed bag because I do think construction costs up here are fairly high compared to where I.
But then, I guess to be fair, if I would have built the house in Florida during the time I built it here, it'd probably,
I talked to
bit more.
builders though down there, and they're like, "I cannot believe y'all get that per square foot."
Right.
So for whatever
times have
reason,
changed since 2016. So
And our
yeah.
property taxes is way more reasonable here.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
I had a much smaller house in Florida compared to my house here, and my taxes down there were triple what they are here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
although I hear the tax man cometh on real estate property taxes, especially over in, well, I won't name the county, but they're going up. I'll
Several
say.
counties are having revals right now, so
Fun.
a lot of times they do it over an 8-year span versus doing it every year. So we're going to have some sticker shock coming up.
How big a role do you think just natural beauty plays in motivating people to move to our mountains here in northeast Georgia and western North Carolina. I mean, I come from the Gulf Coast of Florida. We have gorgeous beaches. I mean, we have some
Yes.
gorgeous, probably that White Sugar Beach, Coquina, Longboat, Anna Maria Island, beautiful. But it's a different beauty up here. Do people ever discuss that with y'all?
All the time, and I'm partial. I think we have the best portion of the Appalachians here. I mean, you can't beat the views over in Highlands, Cashiers. These are all North Carolina stuff. Hayesville, Murphy. You know, we have all the national reserves and the parks. There's so much hiking, fishing, boating. You just can't beat that. And it's not on one level. You're looking at the tall mountain, looking down in the valleys. I'm very partial to the area.
Yeah, I've never had a client say, I don't care about the beauty. You know, like, they have definitely said, I mean, you have people who want to see the mountains. You have some people who say, I don't need to see the mountains from my home because I see them when I drive around. Okay, that's, you know, their prerogative. You have some people who want to live in like a tree house, not literally a tree house, but they just want to have trees around them, the birds. And then you have the people who want to see the lake. So you have there's a lot of beauty up here, and everyone's different in what they like to see.
The plus to me is all the national forest.
Ooh,
In
yeah.
Florida, we just didn't have that. I mean, I think Florida has some natural beauty, but just all the national forests make it very unique here. You can buy a property, and your view, it will take an act of Congress to disrupt. Where in Florida, if you don't own what's around you, that view's going to change.
Yes.
We missed a totally big one here. The Appalachian Trail starts here.
Oh,
Oh,
yep.
yeah.
Forgot about that one.
Right. That is huge.
Yep.
Speaking of natural beauty and all things natural, tell me a little about the wildlife in Florida versus the wildlife up here in the mountains.
Well, you know, if you've grown up with wildlife in Florida, it doesn't really bother you. But my father-in-law, when he would come down and visit, and he'd see any little body of water, and he would say, "You think there could be a gator in there?" And I'd say, if you see a body of water, yes, there could be a gator in there. So, you know, and you do, and people talk about the black bear up here, but we had black bear in Florida too. And you actually see them probably more because now their environment is kind of dwindling, and you see them in your backyards.
Yeah, I love black bears. That's one of the reasons we named the office Century 21 Black Bear Realty, because as a little kid, though, coming to the Smoky Mountains or this area, you would see them occasionally, and that made my trip to the mountains. Gators. In my office, if you're ever, we have it in the kitchen now at our office, but in my law office, you'd see this big gator head. And one year I got they raffle off licenses to hunt. You can hunt, it used to be, I don't know how it is now, 20-something years later. First 2 weeks of September, second 2 weeks of September, and you could hunt from sundown to sun up. And one year, we could bag 8 gators that year, and we first went out on the lake at night, because you just don't go out on the lake at night. But we went out on the lake on an airboat, and you shine that light, and you see hundreds of glowing gator eyes, and you
Yes.
quickly realize,
You're
oh,
surrounded.
crap. So up here we have beautiful deer, turkey, and the few bear I've seen, literally, they don't want to have anything to do with you. When they see you, they normally go the other way. Has that been your whole experience?
Unless you have bird feeders.
Ah,
That's true.
yes. Good tip to anyone moving to the area. If you have a bird feeder, you might as well have a bear's welcome anytime. I can't tell you how many homes I've been at. Literally, the bear climbed up 3 levels.
Yes, that happened at
They're
my parents' house.
amazing climbers. This one lady, I was selling her home, and the bear climbed up 3 levels, got onto her little Juliet balcony, and she wakes up, looks out her screen door, and there's a big bear. So, and we left one important thing out: mosquitoes.
Oh, I don't miss them.
Yeah, yeah,
And no seams.
yeah.
Right, that's true.
There are
Sand spurs. We can
Yes.
keep going.
yes, there are many things. All right, we've got a couple more minutes left of this show, but we're going to roll this into a second week. What about safety and pace of life? These are two, we might should have opened with these. Let's talk about safety. I know when I first moved up here, I'm on a listing appointment. It's time they're listing their home with me. I ask them for a key. The husband looks to the wife looks to the husband. They have no idea where their key is. They've never locked their doors. I was floored. I mean, in Florida, you cut all your lights on, you cut your security system on, and you're one movement away from a weapon of your choice. I move up here and they don't even lock their doors. They'll leave their keys in their car. Have y'all experienced that? Now, that was 20 years ago. It's changed somewhat.
Oh, absolutely. When we went to sell our house, we had 3 kids. Nobody had a door key. We didn't have a door key. We had to go rekey so we could lock our house to sell, which is funny. But I still experience it now. We have, you'll call to go see a house and they'll say, oh, the front door's open.
Right.
Still happens
Right.
even today.
And when I think of pace of life, I think of the traffic or the lack of traffic. That is so nice that I don't have to deal with that. I always felt like I'm getting off 75, that I was getting ready for battle.
Folks, next week we'll be diving back into this same topic. Why are so many Floridians moving to the mountains? We so appreciate you tuning in. Look forward to talking with y'all next week. Thank y'all.